What is a visa? A visa is a permission to travel to a state or land in it. It does not allow the visa holder to enter the state. When travelling to Ireland, some nationals require a visa whilst others are exempt from the obligation. Visa applications are generally made to the Irish Embassy or Consulate in the country from which the person wishes to travel. If a visa is refused, there's an appeals process in the Irish Nationalisation and Immigration Service in Dublin. There are two main types of visa. A sea visit visa allows a stay of up to 90 days in the state, and a D reside visa allowing a stay of over 90 days. Within these broad categories, there are further types of visa, such as atypical visas, business visas, visit or tourist visas, Irish citizen spouse visa, marriage visas, etc. The relevant legislation covering this area of visas includes the Aliens Act 1935, the Immigration Acts and the various Immigration Act visas orders. It's important to understand that visa control is an executive power with a great deal of power in the hands of the Minister for Justice and Equality, who can make orders regulating the need for visas. The Minister is under no obligation to grant a visa save for family members of EU citizens pursuant to the EU Directive 2004/38/EC. Which gives the right of Union citizens and their family members to move and reside within Member States. The definition of a visa is set out in the Immigration Act 2003. Irish visa means an endorsement made on a passport or travel document other than an Irish passport or Irish travel document for the purposes of indicating that the holder thereof is authorised to land in the state subject to any other conditions of landing being fulfilled. You will note that this is only a permission to land in the state, not to enter it. An immigration officer has the power to refuse leave to land to a visa holder if the conditions set out in Section 4 of the Immigration Act 2004 apply. Who requires a visa to enter Ireland? There's a visas order, 2014 order, statutory instrument 473 of 2014. It sets out non-nationals who do not need an Irish visa to land in the state, and they're set out in Article 3. So statutory instrument 473 of 2014, Immigration Act 2004, Visas Order 2014 sets out non-nationals who do not need an Irish visa to land in the state. A non-national who is not in the list in that section requires a visa to travel to Ireland. And when I say the list, it's in Article 3 of that Visas Order 2014. There's a list of countries there. So a non-national who are holders of travel documents issued by Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Malta, etc., etc., do not require a visa. If you're not in that list of countries, then you do require a visa. Family members of EU citizens who are visa required need to apply for a sea visit visa. Department of Justice and Equality's policy document on non-EEA family reunification 2016 will apply. As I say, the types of visa include short or sea visit visas, long or D-reside visas, transit visas, British-Irish visa scheme, short-term visa waiver scheme, other visa waivers, re-entry visas. The Minister for Justice has a great deal of discretion in this area and has a great deal of discretion to grant or refuse a visa. The decision must be reasonable and rational and supported by evidence. Malak versus Minister for Justice, Equality and Law Reform is a very important decision in this area, and the duty on the Minister to give reasons for the refusal. The reasons for refusal can be insufficient documentation, finances, immigration history of the application, inconsistencies or contradictions in the application, relationship history or absence thereof, other reasons. By way of conclusion, a visa does not guarantee entry to the state, but it is a good indication of success. Application must be made on the AVATS system, that's AVATS system, which is an online application system. The documentation which will form part of the application will be sent to the Irish Embassy or Consulate or to a third-party agency who will handle documentation on behalf of the Department of Justice and Department of Foreign Affairs. The decision will eventually issue by post to the applicant. If you want more information about immigration law in Ireland, then my website, businessandlegal.ie, has a fair amount of information on it there about immigration law, and it includes information about visas, employment permits, citizenship, and so on. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you gave it the thumbs up down below. And if you are listening to it on my podcast, the Irish Law and Small Business Podcast, I'd appreciate if you left a review. Thanks a lot.